All right, so here we are looking at this student packet, and we're going to do something with fixed perimeter. What does that mean when it's fixed, as in quote unquote, fixed, fixed? It's not broken. It's not like there was something wrong with it, but what you will notice is that fixed is something where it does not change. It's solid, it stays, you don't change it. So it says in the space below, draw as many rectangles as you can that have a perimeter of 24 centimeters. Since we're doing this digital, instead of using this image and trying to edit it here, we're going to use one that gives us a little more interactive feedback. We're going to go to our GeoGebra app. It's just at web.geogebra.org/Chrome app right there. But it's the same as any type of or any web app that you would get on the Chrome Web Store. Okay, so a couple of things to start. First, when you're looking at this, we want a grid. The grid is in the graphics. So when it's blank right here, you have this arrow that you can point at stuff and you can't click anywhere. I got to click on graphics. This little pull down arrow means there's more under that menu. So here's my graphics. What I want though is I want a grid. So I'm going to click on this grid right there. Now I'm going to do something else as well. I'm going to turn off my algebra. This X, I can turn off the algebra, or I can go to view, and the algebra I don't want. So let's go ahead and turn that off. There we go. So here we go. We got all this stuff. We got all this open space. Let's see if we can expand it a little bit. If I click on this crosshairs, that allows me to move around the whole piece. And then I pull it down to the corner. I can still see the numbers, so I guess that's okay. I don't really have to see them. So let's see what we can do with that now. All right, so we have our rectangles is what we're trying to make. So we want to make a rectangle. But the difference is, let's do this. Go to Options, Point Capturing, Snap to Grid. We're going to do that. I'm not going to click it yet. I'm going to show you why. Because normally I could just kind of click like wherever and it kind of snaps, but not really. But I want it to be perfect, like a perfect rectangle. So for me to get it to close a shape, first I click the first one, then go around, around, around. Then I got to return back to the very beginning. And that's going to close my shape. Now I have a shape. Now if I go to View, Point Capturing, and snap it to Grid, that means that these points are going to hit right on the grid. So I can say go right there, and I can say go right there. And it snaps right into place. And this makes it a lot easier for me to make a rectangle. I can be sure because I'm using the grid kind of as a guide here. So there's a shape, but I don't think that's a perimeter of 24. That's our goal. We have 3 and 3, that's 6. And then 4 and 4, that's another 8. So that's 6 and 8, that's 14. That's not nearly enough. But if I go up here, this little angle button, I don't really want the angle necessarily, but I'm going to click on the down arrow next to it. Again, so I'm clicking on that down arrow next to it, and that pulls down this extra menu. I want to measure a distance or length. I could measure each of these segments, but because I used my Polygon tool right here to create these are all grouped as one polygon. And if I click the distance or length, and then click on my polygon, boom, it gives me the perimeter right away. So now I can stretch this into a rectangle that's going to have 24. So I just got to keep building it, even more, even more. Let's see, looks like, are we going to get it here? 24. So there we go. I just made a rectangle that had a perimeter of 24. Well, let's do it again. Let's make another one. So I'm going to make another one. This one will be E, I don't know. Let's go here. And then we'll go here, and here, and then back. Now it looks like I hit on the grid, so that should be good, but let's go back and measure our distance for the perimeter. So we made a rectangle, and we want the perimeter again. This says it's 22. Ooh, that was really close. So I could either pull this down or pull it to the right. Let's go ahead and pull it to the right. Let's see what we get. Perfect. So there's our perimeter. EFGH is 24. Now, if I wanted to find the distance of a side, I could try to click on the segment, but sometimes it's hard to get right on the segment. You could just click 2 points. So I'm going to click 2 points, like BC is 4, and AB or BA is 8. So that's 4 by 8. And we have EF. So I click on the 2 points while I'm on the centimeter measure, the distance measure, I should say. And FG is 6. So we got 6 by 6 and 8 by 4. And then the perimeter is 24. Now to calculate the area, you just multiply those. And we're probably going to be doing that in the second half of this. Let's keep going here. Let's make another one. Let's make a really wide but kind of short one. So let's go too tall, and let's see how wide we can go and if it's wide enough. So I'll close this off. And now let's measure the distance. So distance or length of the polygon. And it's 28. Oh, cool. So I could fit it in there. I just need to actually come down a little bit. So I need to come down, come down. I need to come down a little more. There we go. So this was 2 units high, and well, let's see how tall each of these are. So we got IJ is 2, but then JK is 10. Excellent. So I'm just clicking the 2 points, and that gives me that distance of the segment there. All right, now let's do a little bit more. So here we go. We got, I don't know, let's see, we got 6 by 6, 4 by 8, 2 by 10. Let's do like a 3 in here. So I'm going to go 3 units. And then I don't know how far, but I think it's going to be a little bit less. I don't know, maybe here. Let's see what we would get.
Morning, Stanford.
Sorry about that. We just had a minor interruption from the intercom. And so now I've made my rectangle that was 3 units high, but I need to measure the perimeter of it. So I'm going to click on it. After I click the distance tool, I'm going to click on my polygon. And it says it's 20. Oh, I need to make it a little bigger. All right, let's add 2 to each side. That should give us a total of 4 more units. There we go, perimeter of 24. Now I want to also measure these segments around the edge. So we got 9, and then the other one is 3. So there's a lot of numbers going on here. We got 3 by 9, 4 by 8, 6 by 6, 2 by 10. I don't have any 5s. Ooh, maybe I can make a 5 in here somewhere. All right, well, I don't know if I can fit it. Can we fit it? I think we can fit it, just barely, but we could fit it. So let's see, how could we do this? We can make this a little bit bigger. All right, so let's actually, yeah, we're just going to have to overlap a little bit. So I'm going to make a point here. I'm going to go up 5 units, which puts me right on the F. And then I don't know how far out I'm going to go. I don't know, maybe I'll go to here, R. And then I'll go to this one. And then go back. Let's see how that does for me. That might be too big. It actually does look pretty big there. But let's see what we can come up with. All right, so if I want the perimeter of this shape, it's 28. Oh, it wasn't too big. It was big, but not too big. Let's see what we get. So I'm going to pull this R back a couple of spaces. So I don't even really need that. Actually, and here's a kind of a good opportunity for us to see something. So I'm going to go to File, no, not File, Edit, Undo. And what that's going to do for me, I'm going to undo a few items here. Edit, undo, edit, undo. Yeah, it looks like the length we want to go for is about the distance from F to N. So I'm going to make a polygon that's going from F to N. So I'll click F, then N, and then I'll go all the way down. Let's see what this gives us. Pretty sure this should give us the right one. So if I click on the distance tool, then click on my polygon, hey, perimeter 24. Let's go ahead and figure out the edge lengths. So we have QN would be 5, and then FN would be 7. Now it's kind of, there we go. So we got lots of measurements all over the place, but a lot of information here. And this is useful information that we're going to use to fill out a table. So that was how to draw the rectangles. Now here's the really cool part. How could I put this into my little sheet? Well, it's really easy. you're going to do Control Shift and then screenshot, and you'll get this little crosshair. Now yours doesn't look exactly like mine if you're on the Chromebook, but then you drag over all this stuff, and as soon as you let go, it's going to take your screenshot for you. And once you do that, you want to save or copy to clipboard. So you do this, and then I'm going to click Capture My Image, and then Copy to Clipboard. For those of you that were on Chromebook, you would have had a Copy to Clipboard over here in the bottom right corner. Then I go back to my document. I'm going to click on this grid. I'm going to delete it, and then I'm going to Insert Instead by doing Copy Paste. So there we go. And here's the really cool thing. I don't know if you knew this or not, but you can actually, if you put it in as a drawing, you could crop it. It's really cool stuff. I'm just going to leave it with all the other stuff in it, like all the buttons and things. That's fine. But then in part 2 here, we're going to look at the second page and what to do with that.